Well, my first CD was called Alchemy of Wholeness, The Alchemy of Wholeness, and I was prompted to write in song my journey with natural voice because it had been so powerful. So from the awakening through chanting, I began to have an unfolding journey that kind of deepened as the years went by. So each song is a reflection. Like Foolish Pride was the first one, and that was the kind of darker years of my life where I was still sort of looking and stuck more in the ego, well, probably still am, but less so, hopefully. There's a song at the end called Give It Up to God, the God of one's understanding, not a religious God per se. And then there's another song on it called Perfect Child, which is all about the awakening of the spiritual energy called Kundalini, which happens through the power of chanting. And so it's just lyrically my journey before, during and after at that time, spanning about 15 years. So my second chanting recording is Nectarine, and I have a soft spot for Nectarine because it was the very first chant CD that I put out. I called it Nectarine because people often say that there is a nectar in chanting. It's like an inner sweetness, like a fruit. So I love the title Nectarine, and it was very, very well received. It was recorded quite homegrown and quite rough, but very, very to the heart. And it was particularly received well by the acclaimed tabla player Talvin Singh, and he got to hear it in the studio where he was working, and you know, gave me a very nice testimonial about it. And so in a way it was like an affirmation that I was on the right track, because there was a lot of energy around that one. The third recording is called Monsoon, and I really wrote that one because of very extraordinary experiences of India, you know, of the monsoons and the whole analogy of the pressure coming off once the rains come. And this has been my experience with chanting. It's just so powerful for releasing pressure and returning us to our free and expansive self. And it is very much a chant about coming home to our true nature, the whole album. Soundscape is very unique. It's a sound meditation CD, and I didn't think up the idea of recording it. It just unfolded. A friend of mine called JC showed me some footage of the Colorado River as it meets the Arizonian mountains, and I said I'd love to put sound to this footage. And so we sat in a studio with the movie on a screen, and I sat with my harmonium and just downloaded what was inspired as I was watching the imagery. And for each piece of film, a different sound would come through. And it's really quite an extraordinary CD. It's very unusual. There are 4 pieces, and people can meditate along to the 4 pieces. And people have been saying since listening with it that they used to find meditation really hard, but since Soundscape, they've found that they're able to go into the zone a lot more easily because they have something to focus on with the mind before that stillness. So that's Soundscape. Epiphany is my latest recording, and it's a double album, CD, 2 discs, and the purpose of it is a real celebration of the heart. When I first had my awakening through the power of chanting, it was like an epiphany. In fact, I was in Battersea Park, and I'd been chanting that morning, and I had this exquisite experience of oneness where I was walking through. I just felt that connection with everybody, and I'd never experienced that before. And Epiphany is like chanting can change your life, guaranteed forever, and it's just to celebrate that with everybody.